Hey, welcome back to the channel. Also, happy 4th of July. For this week's highlight, I tried a new challenge, which I called the Mile Hopping Campaign. Goal for this was to go to 6 different tracks, all back to back, and see if I could run a sub-6 mile on all of them. But before we get into that, let's do a quick recap of what else I've done this week. Starting off Monday, I initially started off with a 4-mile run. I didn't really go too hard on this run, it was mainly just to get some miles in. Later that evening, I went to the track to run a mile in slides. I plan on creating another video series where once a month I do challenge miles, where I run a mile as fast as I can, but I have to make it difficult by running in things like slides, running with a stroller, and some goofy outfit. My old slides mile record was a 5:57, and this time I managed to beat my record with a 5:53. The full video of that will be uploaded in the second series. After I was done with that, I did a quick cool down mile. On Tuesday, the heat was starting to pick up, so my goal for those was just to go outside, nab some records real quick. I started out by doing just over a mile. In that mile, I did the segment fire hydrant. Ended up getting the course record on that, bringing the record from a 2:59 to a 2:57. After that, I did a full loop around Columbia Gateway Drive, and I sped up during the Robert Fulton to Albert Einstein Drive, taking the record from a 2:39 to a 2:36. So that's 2 more records I've taken away from Camden Gilmore. The only one that he still holds is the run bike run. Wednesday, the heat was really starting to pick up, so all I did was just a quick little 2-mile. Thursday and Friday, I ended up taking off because I was trying to save up my energy for Saturday. Saturday, I'd signed up for the Arbutus Firecracker 10K. I couldn't find out much information about this event. I didn't even know what the course layout was for terrain. I also didn't know that it was supposed to be 90 degrees out. My initial goal was to, of course, try and break 40 minutes on the 10K. I did not. I actually didn't even break 50 minutes. I ended up finishing with a time of 50:03, which put me 82nd place. And surprisingly, I actually got 4th place for my age group. If I did end up breaking 40 minutes on the 10K, that actually would have placed me 23rd place overall and 3rd place in my age group. One reason I like doing events like this is I like going out, meeting new people, and seeing some familiar faces. When I was out there, I actually ran into an old buddy of mine, Sean. He ended up beating me today. He finished with a 45:38. He got 47th place and 7th in his age group. I also ended up running into one of my training coaches that helped prepare me for the Marine Corps Marathon last year. His name's Kevin. He ended up finishing with a super quick 39:24, placed him 19th place and 2nd in his age group. Funnily enough, he actually would have done better. He ended up telling me afterwards he took a wrong turn and actually ran about a half-mile extra distance. If you look at Strava at his actual pace time that he ran and then look at the standings, he would have actually got 9th place overall and would have actually got 1st place in his age group. Last but not least, I wish I would have known he was here at this event. 1st place winner was actually Camden Gilmore. He ended up finishing 1st place with the time 32:31. Not only did he get 1st place, but he also set the course record for the Arbutus 10K. Camden Gilmore might sound familiar because he's actually the one that I've slowly been stripping records away from around the Columbia Gateway Drive area. As far I've taken the fire hydrant to fire hydrant and the Robert Fulton to Einstein Drive course records. I still don't think I'll ever take his run bike run record, but we'll see, maybe one day. It would have been cool to meet up with him and see if he's even noticed that I've taken his records away. So after that pretty poor performance at 10K, today on Sunday, I wanted to redeem myself. So I decided to try the mile hopping campaign challenge that I set myself last week. Like I said, the goal for this was to go to 6 different tracks and try and run a sub-6 mile on all of them. I'll include the video of all the runs and have a majority of the video sped up so this video is not 30 minutes. For the first mile, I started off at Hammond High School. The goal for this, of course, was to go sub-6. Knowing that I had 5 additional miles coming up, I didn't want to start off too hard, so I opened pretty moderately with speed, and after the first lap I was feeling pretty good, so I just kind of kept and maintained the speed. finishing time was a 5:41. The second mile I went to is the Oakland Mills High School. At this point, I was feeling pretty warmed up, so this mile was actually a lot easier than the previous one. I do think I went probably a little too fast on the opening few laps, but again, I was feeling pretty good, so I just let it carry all the way through. I ended up finishing this one with a 5:36. The third track I went to is the Long Reach High School. At this point, I was getting a little concerned that I was starting off too fast on the miles and I was going to get tired for the last remaining ones. But since I was feeling so good, I maintained roughly the same pace as the last track, and overall the run felt really good. I ended up finishing this one with a 5:38. For my fourth track, I went to Howard High School. Once again, I was still feeling pretty good. Surprisingly, I wasn't feeling too tired. I started off with basically the same pace I've been doing for all the prior miles, and overall the run felt really good. I ended up finishing this one with a 5:36 tying the Oakland Mills High School. For my fifth track, I had a little bit longer of a break because it took me longer to drive to this one. This one is at the Gaffney track. At this point, I know I was coming pretty close to finishing up the challenge, so the goal for this was to give really everything I had on the last 2 miles, hopefully bring my average time down. So I started off a lot quicker than all the other prior miles, but at this point the heat was starting to get to me, so by the end of it I was actually really tired.
I feel good!
I ended up finishing this one with my fastest time yet at a 5:33. For my final mile, I went to the Meade Senior High School. At this point, I was definitely super drained. I was even debating skipping out on this mile and just making it a 5-run series. However, the goal initially was to do 6 under 6, so I ended up going anyways. Since this was the last one, I ended up giving it everything I had. I started off way quicker than all the other miles. Surprisingly, this is probably one of the few times ever where I did a near all-out mile and ended up having negative splits all the way through.
That feels good! Baby! That feels good! Baby!
And my finishing time ended up being a 5:21. I'm super happy with this being my final mile at a 5:21. 5:21 speed for me is probably somewhere in my top 10 or top 15 miles I've ever ran. At this point, now that I've done a slides mile in 5:33 and doing this final mile after already doing 5 at a 5:21 pace, I do think that my 5:12 mile record is due for challenging again. I do feel I'm probably more fit than I ever have been for the mile again. Here in the future, I'm going to try and break my mile record again. That's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.